Thank you, Honourable Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, as we all know, we've got a new way of doing things, and COVID-19 has actually created this. We've got some new challenges for all Fijians, particularly constraints on our finance, our food supply, and our job security. So, amongst many of the positive incentives that were announced in the budget, sir, the national budget, the open taxi rank will actually lead to improved services, and it eases some financial burden on operators on the transport sector. Although the governing law is yet to commence, we will be giving out a commencement date at a later stage. When it does come into force, it will put in place a new system for taxi operators. The system actually will provide uniformity across the board for all taxis. So essentially, it'll get rid of the different terminologies that we currently have, such as base taxis, stand taxis, and zone taxis. The open taxi rank will allow for taxis in Fiji to operate within their designated zones on a first in, first out basis, similar to most countries around the world. And the removal of base and stands will remove the base, stand, and station fees that public service vehicle permit holders pay and replace it with an annual PSV levy. Now, Honourable Speaker, sir, this particular framework guarantees opportunities for taxi drivers and operators to work and operate in unity whilst actually reducing illegal operators. The ministry has reassured PSV operators that all fees that have been paid in advance to the respective municipal councils for the base and stand will be credited and offset against the vehicle renewal levies, which means when a PSV operator takes his or her vehicle for annual renewal of registration, the cost will be credited and will be utilized to offset total cost for renewal of registration, and the balance will only have to be paid. The annual PSV levy for taxis will depend on rural or urban taxis, and the crux of the whole matter, sir, is this particular system provides taxi operators a level playing field, and the current system of taxi bases and stands limited the taxi operators to operate from one place only. They will have more options and opportunities to pick up passengers within their zones. And now operators have greater options and opportunities to create business for themselves. It will also remove somewhat of a stronghold that a very few number of operators have on certain bases, and despite not being able to meet the demand for taxis in that area. This does not affect private base owners, sir, but customers also be able to have more reliable and efficient service. Now, Honourable Speaker, sir, one of the most important parts also is that the Fiji Roads Authority has been working with the ministry, and we've agreed to create more open taxi ranks in different various zones. This will provide more space and reduce crowding of taxis in particular busy areas. And taxis will now have access to even more open bases. In absolute terms, there will be more organized bases than what existed before. So it'll improve our traffic, it'll improve our congestion and planning, especially in busy metropolitan areas, and more open rank bases in particular zones will reduce accidents and congestion usually caused by taxis suddenly stopping for passengers in an ad hoc manner. And operations will become more and more orderly, sir, as we see in countries like Singapore. Honourable Speaker, sir, upon completion of the work relating to marking and rearranging open ranks, the commencement date will be announced thereafter. We'll have to go right around the country. It's a little bit more consultation as to where it happens, and consultation with respect to the taxi operators, with respect to the councils and the FRA. The work is underway. The government will continue to pay for the base and the stand fees as announced in the budget, and the transport sector in its entirety has been amongst the most impacted. But a carefully crafted budget will go a long way in easing some of the burdens they face. And lastly, sir, this is absolutely and totally in line with our development plans. And I want to reiterate what the Honourable Dr. Reddy said. And I know that there'll be people asking about whether there's consultation or not. Consultation is an ongoing exercise, and yes, we have done so, and it continues to happen, sir. I thank you, sir, and I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.